Okay, this is gonna be different from my previous short. Instead of making a scientific video like I did in my previous short about anesthesia, in this video I'm just gonna cover like a new language system I made like this year and or maybe last year. It was like in this academic year in which I made this language system. I used this system to communicate with my friends through calculator. Like, let me show you for example. That right there is hello. Yeah, so I'm gonna explain and break down all the rules of my language, and yeah, I'll also teach you how to apply it on calculators later on in the video. So just keep on watching so you can actually understand key concepts, and you can also use this. So I originally made this language as an anti-teacher language, in which teachers won't understand what the students are talking about at all, and we can just do note passing pretty safely without the teacher ever figuring out like what we're actually talking about. Right. So first of all, let's just get into the alphabet for my language. So you know like how A is the first letter of the alphabet, like A should be 1, but no, we're not doing that. A is equivalent to 0. All right, so 0 is going to be A. So instead we have 1 as B, 2 as C, 3 as D, and so on all the way up till K. Now K, we have 10. And why do we have these brackets? Well, for all the double digits numbers like 10 and all the way till 25, 25 being Z, 10 being K, I've added brackets like so that it does not like get confused. Like for example, if I write this, then that is BA, and instead of that I can just write this, which is K, like so. Now this is just to avoid confusion. The brackets are necessary so that you can avoid confusion, and yeah, this is pretty straightforward. And if you do not understand what this is over here, this is 19 in brackets, and 19 is T, 20 is U, 21 V, 22 W, 23 X, 24 Y, and so on and so forth. You can just take a screenshot or picture of this depending on which device you're on and memorize it. Then tell your peers or schoolmates about it if you still haven't like graduated school or anything like that. And yeah, now let's get to sentence structure. Now we're gonna do two types of sentence structures. One is gonna be for the calculator, the other is gonna be written. So we're gonna do written first. We'll do this calculator later on. So if I want to write a statement, like for example, like that's a word, then we have this decimal point, this dot. I'm just underlining it to highlight, but in reality we only have one dot. And let me just write a real quick statement. There we go. So this is hello guys, and yeah, so this decimal right over here, this dot is just equivalent to space. Like for example, I'll write hello guys. Do not mind my handwriting, please. I know it may be a little bad. This decimal essentially replaces this space between the words. All right, like so. And now you may be asking, what on earth is the full stop? And now there are two ways we can do this. Number one, we can either have no full stop, or number two, we can have two full stops. First of all, it's gonna be a comma for calculator, but for hand it's gonna be semicolon. Or you know what, let's just stick to comma. Comma is gonna be the standard full stop for all formatting styles of this new language I made. Okay, so I'm just gonna write down like different kinds of punctuation. For normal like writing, we can just use the normal punctuation, but for calculator it's gonna be a completely different system. I'm just gonna get into that. All right, just let me actually test something. Okay, bingo, go. So it turns out that I found out a way to do exclamation mark on my calculator. If you do not have exclamation mark on the calculator, then you can just end it off with like some symbol, which I'll talk about later on. So right now for the written format, what we're gonna do is this is equivalent to space, just like the space between different words, and this is equivalent to full stop, which is just essentially the end of the sentence, like normal English, but instead of the dot it's a comma. All right, so why I've made the dot, cause like on this little number pad here we can see that we can easily type out numbers, and then we can also easily reach out for the decimal place instead of having to search for the comma. Oh look, here it is, and then bam, it just kind of flows well, and at least in my opinion. All right, so after these two, the rest of the punctuation is normal. Rest of punctuation is normal. Please don't mind my handwriting. Please do not comment Dr. Handwriting. All right. Okay, so rest of punctuation is normal, and it is read from left to right. That's how it is read, just like standard English. All right, so I think that's pretty much it for this written part. If you don't understand, then you may ask me questions in the comments below, and I'll be sure to answer those questions of yours. Now, putting this sheet aside, if you haven't taken a screenshot or a picture of it, please do. I'm giving you a second. 3, 2, 1. All right, I'm putting this aside for now, and for the rest of the video I'm going to put this aside. All right, and let's move on to the calculator part. All right, so I'm using a Joinus calculator. You may probably have a Casio calculator, or it doesn't really matter on the brand. This may be a little bit harder, but let's get all the controls of the calculator. You obviously have the numbers, and you obviously have the delete all button. Then we have the single delete, equal to, and all these blah blah mathematical boring stuff. All right, but how we can use these stuff for my language is I'm just gonna type in like a random word, like 1 second, like so. And there's this, like, your calculator should have a little d-pad here. All right, if it does not, then what do I say, man? You need to get a new calculator, or you can just use your friend's calculator and like pass your friend's calculator around. Just make sure that your squad actually knows this language, and you can spread like school wide, and teachers will never ever figure it out. Just make sure that you do not pass it on to a snitch. Anyways, now this is what we call a replay, at least according to my calculator, or we can call this the d-pad. Now this has 4 arrows, up, down, right, and left. Now we can use these arrows to kind of navigate. Like this is kind of, you know, blinking. We will just consider that blinking. Then I can use the right arrow to move 1 space, and I can keep on repeating this in order to go further ahead to make out the whole message. Like I can see the first 4 letters, but then I can only see the half of like the 5th letter. So then I go and I see that is my 5th letter, and over here I did not add a full stop, so full stop, remember, it's comma, like so. And yeah, and if you want to do space, then just use decimals, like so. And yeah, 1, 17, 14. This is bro in my language, and I'll just use comma for full stop. And also you must have open bracket and close bracket for your double digits numbers, so that you can actually you know, have this system. Otherwise it may be way harder to read. And for question mark, I'm gonna write it down somewhere. I'm gonna write it down the same paper, even though I said that I was gonna take it away for the rest of the video. I'm gonna draw a little box, alright, like so. And I'm just gonna write calculator differences on just calculator instead. Now over here, we're just gonna go over how we can use different sorts of punctuations. Full stop is comma, just like in the written one. Space is also just gonna be dot, like in the normal one, yet again, like on the written one. And now here's where things may get a little bit different. How are we gonna get exclamation mark on a calculator? Now, if your calculator has this feature which I'm about to show you, then exclamation mark is equivalent to, if you have this shift button right here, I'll click shift, it'll have a small little s, like right there. Oh, there, yep. So once that s appears, we're gonna find this x minus 1 button, which has this x exclamation one. So if I just click this after clicking shift, I'll get my exclamation mark. And if you do not have that, then that is perfectly fine. Then we'll just do let me just write it down for those who have this feature, this button right here. But if you do not have that, then for your exclamation mark, you can just use a simple power, like so, because it's kind of like an up arrow. We'll just call this power. All right. For the power, it's kind of pointing upwards, thus indicating like higher tone. And that would be the exclamation mark. Now question mark. Question mark, it's gonna be a little bit different. Now most calculators, if not all calculators, obviously all calculators will have the percentage symbol. If not, at least you may have pi or e. E could be a good alternative for exclamation, but I'm just gonna stick with power. And you can also do e if you want for exclamation. It just depends on you. E or power, it depends on you, like whichever one you want to use. Now for question mark, what we're gonna do is, if you have the shift button like I have right here, I'm just gonna click shift. And once we see this little box like I showed you before, this S box right here, once you see it up here, we're just gonna go to equal to and must have a percentage sign above. If not, then it's okay. It's alright. It's alright if you do not have percentage. Then we can use another alternative called pi. So we can do the same. Oh shoot. Let me just turn it on. Okay. So we click shift. This little thing appeared here, and we can just search for pi, which is usually above the E button right here. At least for my calculator. All right. So just find your pi button, get pi here. That is your question mark. If you have any further questions, then I'll answer those in the comments. And if you want me to make a part 2 on this, then let me know by giving me like your opinion, like any changes you want to make to this language, so that we can make this an actual developed language just for students. And yeah, that's it. It's about time. I peace off.